Inland spousal sponsorship process in 2026. In this video, we're going to explain to you exactly what to expect if you're about to apply for inland spousal sponsorship in 2026. My name is Elena Weber. I'm an IRCC, and today with me I have Corey Weber, our lead immigration consultant at Weber Immigration. All right, Corey, so let's talk about inland spousal sponsorship. So, the first question I have is that can you guide me through how inland spousal sponsorship really looks like high level, how the process works?
Yeah, so the inland sponsorship, basically, you know, whether you're common law, whether you're married, either way, you're living with that partner, right? So with the inland process, all the documents, well, not all, most of the documents are revolving around proving that, right? So proving that you have those, whether it's lease agreements, whether it's joint bank accounts, and joint credit cards. All the other documents that like financial documents that prove that you're intertwined financially, all these things need to be proving that you are in that that relationship and living together, right? So if it's common law, you need to prove 12 months of living together. For marriage it's a bit different. You don't have to prove like the history of it, but you still do need to prove that you are living together. So common documents that have the address on it for this both of you, government IDs showing same address. So that's the high level kind of look at that. The inland applicants, basically you're living in Canada with your partner and your documents need to prove that you are, right?
Yes, a lot of inland applicants are always ask us questions. So, should I apply? Like, I'm in Canada, I'm living with my partner, but should I apply inland or outland?
Mhm. Yeah, so I mean the answer is if you're in Canada with your partner and you're living with them, um you are pretty much restricted to doing inland application. For an outland application, that is your partner's not living with you, they're back home in a different country. So unless your plan is to then send your current spouse back home, and apply Outland, then you're kind of restricted into that inland application, right? So
Yeah.
basically, the simplest way to think about it is if you live in Canada with your partner, you're doing inland. If your partner is not living with you, if you're living in Canada and your partner lives outside of Canada, then you're Outland. That's the basic gist of it.
Yeah, for sure. Now, when the sponsored spouse is applying for spousal sponsorship, they also are eligible to apply for spousal open work permit based on that PR application. So, my question is that, like, how that process looks like when they can apply for that work permit based on spousal sponsorship.
Yeah, so for the inland applicant who wants to apply for the open work permit, generally speaking, what IRCC wants to see is that you get what's your acknowledgement of receipt for the application. So you've submitted your spousal sponsorship application, and you now are waiting, and you get your acknowledgement of receipt or your AOR. Basically, whatever document comes first to you and has a file number on it. That's your file number. Now you have that file number, then they say to you, okay, now you can go apply for that open work permit. You were going to mention in the work permit application, there's a public policy for this work permit that allows you as a spousal sponsorship applicant to then be eligible for this work permit, and so you need to include that acknowledgement of receipt in the work permit application. And also there's a special code you need to mention, spouse, common law, partner, blah 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 blah, in the work permit application itself, which lets them know that yes, you're an applicant for spousal sponsorship, and you want to apply for the open work permit. And here's the acknowledgement of receipt that we received for our sponsorship application, and then everything is fine, right? The one note is that once you've submitted the work permit application, it doesn't mean you can start working right away. If you were never working in Canada before, you need to wait until you get that work permit in your hand, before you can start working.
Yes, for sure. But if you are extending your work permit, then you can work as on maintained status.
Exactly. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right.
So how long does it take to get that work permit?
Work permits right around now are let's say 6 to 8 months, within that range. It is not super fast,
Yeah.
which is, if you're sitting there not working is a long time to wait, unfortunately. But as there's nothing much you can do about that, unfortunately. But yeah, it just sit and wait, considering that the processing times for sponsorships are so long themselves. It's still handy to have that work permit down the road, for sure.
Yes. Now, you mentioned that ideally you want to wait for AOR before applying for that work permit, right?
Yeah,
So, how long does it take to get AOR, acknowledgement of receipt, before applying for that work permit? So, just so our viewers are not confused, the first thing
sure.
what you do, you're applying for PR. That's the first thing. Then the
Yeah,
second step is you receive that AOR, so you receive your file number, and then the third step, if needed, you apply for work permit. So how long
exactly.
does it take to receive that file number?
So the answer for right now is we're receiving them like quicker than usual. So I don't know if that's a new trend, but we're receiving them within like 2 weeks. The most recent two to
Knock on
four
wood, it's
weeks.
a new trend.
Knock on wood. So in some cases, though, you might be waiting much longer, right? And it is hit or miss. I don't know. Some applicants are getting it within that 2 weeks, and I haven't received some yet, and we've applied. For example, I think in August, and we're still waiting for an AOR. So I can't, and those are all inland applicants. So I
Yeah.
can't really tell you why there's a difference between them, and
Mhm.
why we would wait so long for one, and some are very quick. But it just gives you an idea that there's a range from, let's say, 2 weeks to up to 3 or 4 months in some cases. So very hard to predict why that is, though.
A lot of our subscribers and followers, they tell us that, okay, I applied for our spousal sponsorship, I received AOR, I completed my biometrics, and then that's it. And for months and months and months and months and months, it's just silence.
Yeah.
So, and it seems like my file is literally like stuck or lost because I haven't heard from IRCC in forever. So how long does it actually take to get to the point of the decision on the file? And
Yep.
is it okay if you don't hear from IRCC?
Yeah. So first of all, like the processing time for inland applicants, I haven't checked, this week, but I think it's around somewhere around 20 months, let's say
Yeah.
18 to 20 months in there, from IRCC's perspective. We are seeing increased processing time for our clients as well. Back not too long ago, we would see very quick processing, but that has changed. And we are seeing, I think, which is a result of the amount of applications that they are taking under sponsorship has increased. So, of course, then we're going to see longer processing times. Generally speaking, most of our clients are still within the 12-month mark, I would say.
Hmm.
Um, 10 to 12 months is still normal for us. Of course, again, like as we always say, that can change moving forward. So,
Yeah.
but it is very, very normal that after, let's say, the first month is all sorts of action, and you get an AOR, and then you get a biometrics request, and you might get a medical request all within a month or two. And then, yes, it's just silence for it could be a solid 8, 9, 10 months of just silence,
Yeah.
which is absolutely normal. So, they're dealing with higher levels of applicants. There's a lot of security checks going on and background checks going on, and eligibility checks. Like all these things are taking place, but there's a tracker. You can sign up for it. You can follow along. You can check in every day if you wish. And eventually you'll get there. But it is absolutely normal to just not hear anything, right?
Yeah.
For a very, very long time. Sure.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you so much. That was super useful. Guys, if you have any questions, you're more than welcome to put them in comments. And please like this video and subscribe to our small but growing channel. If you want to watch more videos and get more information about spousal sponsorship, you can go to our spousal sponsorship playlist on our YouTube channel and you can see more information there. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in our next video.